We're going to do a bounce pass beyond the arc to C.J. Holmes, esteemed beat writer for the Warriors for the San Francisco Chronicle. And C.J., when you heard the news that all the trades were consummated, what did you think with respect to the Warriors, who have a guy who's damaged goods for now in Young Glove?
Well, it's kind of inevitable. I mean, after like in the fourth quarter of the game yesterday, when you see Gary come out and take a seat next to Bob and Mike Dunleavy Jr., I mean, how can you make a public appearance like that and then send a guy back into a bad situation, right? I mean, Gary Payton II means so much to this Warriors franchise. The unfortunate thing is, the Warriors thought they were trading for a healthy player that can help them now, only to find out that this guy, he's injured and cannot help them now. However, keeping an injured Gary Payton in-house under contract for the next 2 years and let him heal up and recover with your team doctors versus sending him back to Portland, a bad situation, something fans would never forgive them for, might I add, and bring back a exiled and most likely disgruntled James Wiseman back into the building. That's something that nobody wants. It's a win for Wiseman, it's a win for Sadiq Bey, Kevin Knox. They get to go to their new locations. And for the Warriors, they get one of their fan favorites back in the building. It's just unfortunate that he's going to have to miss some time. They have pieces that they can try to right the ship with. And, Gary's just a luxury that they have waited in the wings.
Well, let's get to the here and the now. CJ, they're 28-28. There's 26 games left. They don't have the luxury of that quick start like they had last year, and then they get to April, like flip the switch because everybody's healthy. Do you think that they can scrap and actually win these close games to get in this tournament with 26 games left?
I've been on this beat for 2 years now and covered them last year to the championship run. One thing I learned is to never count this team out, right? Stephen Curry's going to come back healthy eventually. Draymond Green's still on this team. Klay Thompson's still on this team. Andrew Wiggins still on this team. The core starters who won last year's championship are still on this team. So with that thought, I mean, you would expect that at some point they'd find a way to string together games, but the fact that they haven't done it yet is very concerning. Teams like this who have been there and done that, the regular season doesn't mean much to them. So maybe this is more of a sense of, we're bored and we'll flip that switch when it's time. But, time's running out. All-Star break is here. After the All-Star break, there's 22 games left. They're going to have to flip the switch in these final 22, not only to try to secure a playoff spot, but try to avoid that play-in where anything is possible.
I mean, at some point, they've got to, even the core guys have to get their, hey, man, we can't be messing around anymore. I mean, we got to go out and make a statement.
These issues that the Warriors are facing, they're in their control. It comes down to focus and execution, things that Steve Kerr and Draymond and everyone's been harping on all year. And I'll tell you what Steph Curry told us. They know what they're expected to do. They have the tools to win. They just got to do it.
The Western Conference was just kind of meh a little bit, and then Kevin Durant comes back to the conference. What effect does he have on the whole thing?
Well, some might say that the Suns are now the favorite to win it all. Teaming Kevin Durant with Chris Paul and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. The fact that they were able to pull that trade off and keep DeAndre Ayton is insane. So on paper, when you look at that starting group, a lot of people are penciling in the Suns to go to the finals.
Well, CJ, thanks so much for a few minutes. I'm going to pop my popcorn and get it ready because, man, it's going to be a show coming down the stretch as to who makes the postseason.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle. I think there's more parity in the Western Conference. The East, I think the East is pretty locked up right now. There's more parity in the Western Conference than we've seen in a lot of years. All the stars are in the West, and it's gonna be a battle right down to the final weeks of the regular season for playoff positioning, and I can't wait to see how it unfolds.